from complete no authority.
All right. We'll just, for time, because we don't want to hold up the piano, we'll just do one quote. Choose. Oh, you pal. You can pull it down. Yep, that's fine. Pull it down. Yeah, there we go. There you go. I'm very interested in can you make this work. Oh, you? For corporate pilots. Oil? It's a trip in my best friend. Go. All right. So they're going to be very quick, and the audience are going to choose who takes home the grand prize, as well as actually the two grand prizes, because we have two to give out. So that being said, I will point at the individual by show of audience participation. That is the two winners. Hey, we have our winner. So thanks, guys. I'm just going to bring your hand back on me. And those from our front office merch table. There you go. All right, guys. Listen, I'm gonna do actually a little preempt. I'm actually here. Just for guys, to do a favor for these fantastic legends that you know best. I'm gonna call them in a minute, but I always like to do a preempt little game show, okay? A little pre-game show. Okay, so then when I say the favorites, okay, I need you guys to do a big hand clap. You don't have to do this. Because you go here, man. I'll whisper it out, but you hear their name, right? So when I say the word favorites or legendary, let's do legendary. So when I say the word legendary, right? I need hand claps. Where you get them in here, okay? So we're gonna practice. You ready? Legendary. One more time. Legendary. So you know best, right? They're absolutely amazing. They're part of your childhood. So are they there? Yeah. Okay. So just a little preempt. I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then last probably 30 minutes, you guys ask questions a month. So with that being said, let's bring on the legendary. What are you guys doing? I know, it's like your coffee, right? Better than a cup of coffee. First of all, I want to say you guys, thank you so much for coming to Huntsville Pop for 2026. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was a delight. Everybody's just been wonderful. You had fun. That's it.
This is my third Huntsville Comic Expo.
So what did you guys do last time? Did it take you anywhere? Did you go with me?
Tell me, well, I have one of my cousins worked for NASA for about 40 some years here.
Wow.
He kind of got hold of all of our families from Florida and Kansas City and everything like that to come down here. So I have 14 family members. Where are you all?
Wow. We're down somewhere. I don't know where you're at.
You're at the table. I don't sit here. I can talk to you at the table. That's what it's like.
We heard all the stories, man.
Yeah.
How are you this morning? I went to dinner with some friends last night, a revivalist downtown.
Oh,
really good.
okay.
Really good. Thank you. Thank you. I had the duck. Don't tell Donald. Don't tell your friends.
That's awesome.
You know, I don't know if you ever got a chance to ask this question, anybody's ever trying to ask this question. What was your best moment? I know you guys do different scenes, or what's been your best moment coming together at a convention, just you two, right? Because you two are like, you two are like, iconic, right? They deal with songs from the movie, people still watch the movies, like, what has it been for you guys doing the convention together?
That's been fantastic because I can't believe, especially a Goofy movie, where I met my son here. And, that was 31 years ago. It came out. 1995, and last year was the 30th anniversary, and it became #1 on Disney Plus, which I. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to the fans. You made it what it should have been in the beginning. They didn't put that much faith in it when it came out. But it's just grown and grown over the years and is now more popular than it was even back then. It's incredible. And I love hearing the stories from everybody on what it meant. Because we don't get that much food. We just kind of do the voice, go home, you know?
Right.
And then, but we hear from you that how much it matters. And it really has affected me.
Dude, I concur what he says, and like as an actor, you hope that someone watches your work once. You never think that they're gonna like covet it and make it part of your life. And that is something that's like completely blown us away. Like we love each other, we love doing these events, and are always humbled. At every show, there's always somebody says like I connected with my parents or a friend because of this movie, or I had a tumultuous relationship with my parent. But we would get together and be at peace with this film, and it's just wonderful, man. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Sure. So, you know, I don't know if you guys have had this conversation, or does Disney seem like they want to remake everything? You know, Disney Tale, they're trying to do DuckTales, they've already did it, and other ones. Like, have you guys been campaigning to put in a redo you guys show? Because I would love that. Right?
I've actually talked with them about doing that, and they don't seem averse to the idea. Nothing's happened yet, and we've come up with some ideas. And like, you know, who is Max's mom? We hear
I would love to.
Like it's a grand booth.
Yeah. Would Max be like as a dad, you know, and kids, there's a lot of ideas you could explore doing that, but they work very slowly. They're like 5 years out now. They got stuff planned for the next 5 years. So even if everything went perfect, it'd probably be 5 years down the road before you can do anything. But we'll keep trying. I love keep trying. I think fans would like that.
That's something that's provided for you, but you know, it's remind you, it's not show talent, it's not show creativity, it's show business, and the company is a business.
Yeah.
And if a third Goofy movie or anything that you want to see, it helps if you post about it, you tweet about it.
They know there's a need. There's a need. They'll do it.
Yeah. So like Firefly, exactly.
So I know that's actually amazing. So what has been like one of the most touching moments for you guys? From I know you said Jason earlier about people actually touching on you. What did really touch your heart since you know you
Like physically?
Verbally, right? And some stories. Like what's been one of the touching stories for you that actually stands out the most?
Come to mind. One just about 6 months ago in Florida. I mean, this is how much the fans love these characters. I was in Orlando. We're at the hotel, and a girl comes up to me as I was going to get on the elevator and said, "Oh, Mr. Farmer, you took a picture with me earlier, and my sister is a big fan. Can I take a picture with her?" I said, "Well, sure. Where is she?" "She's over here." And I go there, and there she was sitting on a couch being treated by the paramedics. It's some kind of a seizure kind of thing. And I'm thinking, can I have a picture with her? I don't get excited and have a heart attack or something like that. And the doctors were there. They had the gurney out, the whole thing.
Wow.
And I said, "Is it okay to take a picture with her?" And the doctor said they were taking things off of her and the thing, you know. tells oxygen in the blood and all of this stuff,
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and said that she'll be okay. You can do it.
Wow.
And so that's the only time I've ever had a selfie with someone being treated by the paramedic. Another one. Oh, this was early on, and this shaped my whole vision of what these characters are. I was in Florida, 10th anniversary of Television Hall of Fame, and I got to go to the party and everything, and I got to meet Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and everything. And the first thing he said is, you ever talk to kids in hospitals? And I said, yeah, famous folk friends, Make-A-Wish Foundation, stuff like that from time to time. He said, man, then you're my hero. And shook my hand. He was worried about what we give back, not what we do. And that set with me for, and kind of has guided what I think about this when I'm in the booth, because it's not just about me doing this character, it's what this character does out there in the world. And I keep that in my mind when I'm performing, and that's always stayed with me. That was very touching.
Oh, the ball. I'm sure you remember this one. We got to go to, we're going to Disney World for the opening of, I think, the Mission to Mars ride. And it was a bunch of actors there. It was you, it was Susan Blakeslee from Fairly Odd Parents, Justin as Cruella DeVille, Jennifer Hale, who's Cinderella, the late, great, amazing Wayne Allwine and Lucy Taylor, Mickey and Minnie, respectively. And they invited us to go over to Radio Disney to speed knuckleheads on the radio. Little side quest here. We open the door. The first person we see, you remember? Julie Andrews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So all of a sudden, cartoon actors like the goddess, she's here. So they put us on the air, and we're all just being silly and ad-libbing stuff. And I don't know if you know, but Bill doesn't just do Goofy. You also voice Pluto. Yeah.
He's a German, by the way. I can look at him.
Oh my God. Very impressive. So he was doing that, and then Susan as Cruella DeVille was like, "Oh, I'll turn you into a show." And we're laughing, thinking we're just being silly. Well, after they got off the air, a few minutes later, there's a phone call in the studio that some mom is upset because their 4-year-old daughter is beside herself, thinking that Cruella is going to kill Pluto and trick him.
Wow.
So after we received this, Lucy Taylor, it was almost like a hold my beer moment. She's like, I got this. We go back on the air, and Lucy, as Minnie, talks to the little girl on the air. And she says, as Minnie's like, oh, don't you worry, Pluto is fine. He's right here. And you were like, yes. And she's like, Cruella is really, Cruella, you should seem kind of mean, but she's really got a lot of love in her heart. She was never heard Pluto like this. And we're all just like sobbing in the back. And it's a testament to what Bill just said, like Lucy took ownership of, she recognized the ownership of her character and what, not just what we do as performers, but the responsibility of being that performer and how it reacts to the audience of all ages. And that humbled me is like, oh yeah, you don't have to be silly about this, but I do have a responsibility to keep the magic alive and use my powers for good. Right. That was fun.
Great power to come break your stomach. That's okay.
So I have one last question, and then we get to the fans. How's the transition been, with voice actors, how they do it now, what they come and give advice, stuff like that? How's that transition been as far of hearing people going to get into the industry, because they're always asking you questions, right?
Oh, yeah.
How is that transition been for you, of what you did, and how they try to be into it?
Well, everybody's journey is different. Mine was, long story short, I did stand up for about 5 years before out of Dallas, actually, and decided my wife and I, to uproot and go to California to see what would happen, see if we could do anything in show business. And about 5 months later, as luck would have it, they were just coming on with the Disney Channel and cable and everything, and they wanted to hear one voice for each of the main characters. At the time, there were maybe 4 or 5 guys doing Mickey, and maybe down in Florida, maybe at Disneyland and stuff. They wanted to solidify that. So you always heard the same character. And there was a big audition. And my agent just said to me, do you do any of the Disney characters? And I kind of do a halfway Mickey, and I can do you know, Donald's rough to do. I like Goofy's my favorite. I do, you know, like a. And so they just got me a cassette tape of the original. I laid it down and the dialogue, and they called me about a month later and said they'd like to use you, not to sign a contract or anything, for one show. And it was called Disney's Doggone Valentine. And I'll remember the date, January 23rd of 1987. So 39 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went in, and they don't sign you to a long-term contract. They don't hire you as a Disney employee. None of us have ever been employees of Disney, because, you know, we do the voice. We're like the plumber. We're like independent contract. We come in, do a job, go home. Still that way. And but they kept calling, and next month I do another one, and you know, now it's been about 3,500 shows. I think so. But now, I mean, about 70% of voice acting is non-union. It can be done across the country. You can have your own home studio. A lot of them encourage it. We did that during COVID. And it's tough. It is, because I didn't know at the time I was up against 1,100 other people that tried out for Goofy. Wow. I had no idea. I probably wouldn't have tried had I known that fact. And so that's what I tell students and stuff. I said, don't give up. You never know when that just lightning bolt's going to hit of luck at the right place at the right time. But if you don't try, it ain't going to happen. So you just got to follow your dreams and keep plugging away. It was 12 years after college before I got that big break. And if I hadn't done it, wouldn't have happened.
Right. Turns out you were the goofiest.
I was the goofiest. What? Still.
Lucky. And then that takes off because you've been going through the generation, so it's a different experience for you too as well.
Yeah, man. I've been doing this since I was 12, and very fortunate. We moved from Rhode Island to California, and someone suggested to my mother should take her sons to acting. He's adorable, and she was biased and said sure. Took me to a workshop in Irvine. After 12 weeks, sent me to an agent, and then they signed me that day. And the next day, auditions, commercials, TV, movies, voiceover. Voiceovers is something I had an aptitude for, and thankfully kept working in that arena. So it all goes up. There's a lot of ups and downs. And when it was slow for on camera, I was still being hired for cartoons, which is great. Yeah, I moved to Tennessee. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a couple hours from here. Yeah. What's that?
So Fred,
The Go Reds. Yeah, that's the hockey team, right? And yeah, now with technology being what it is, I can work out of my closets, you know, and I don't have a technological background. I learned how to make like a sort of like a dead room, like dead sound room, and they have software where you can patch it through studios anywhere, and they can kind of control it on their end. And yeah, I did Young Justice, the fourth season Young Justice in my closet during COVID. It was crazy. But for those who want, I'm sure people ask that, but if people are interested in getting into voiceover, our friend D. Bradley Baker, if you don't know who that is, you should. He started a website that it's called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, all one word, iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. I think he was just tired of answering the questions. He's like, I'm just going to do this. But it's one of those comprehensive resources that you could get from the first thing that will all tell you is you gotta know how to act. You know, it's no point, you know, doing goofy voices or silly voices unless you can perform them. Being in a Goofy movie is a testament to that, because you know Bill was able to go around, you know, Goofy as a human, as a dad, and that's supposed to be this you know, quote unquote Goofy cartoon character. So you got to know how to act, man, and then you can figure out the technology and the networking and all that. Yeah, I talked too long.
Absolutely not. No, stop. I just wanted the master, so I'll just make sure I'm taking. If you would talk to, yeah, it's another story, but okay, so, it's about the time you guys ask your questions. There's a mic right there, and, you guys can answer questions away. We don't have to do any rapid fire. Wow, okay. That's amazing. All right. Anybody else?
Sorry. Don't give up. Don't just say you don't give up.
Stop and answer your question, ask the question, okay? I need to start with that first.
What's going on, ACDC?
Hey, I'm doing good, Jason. I love that with all my heart.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Now, when Bill mentioned earlier, if Max would be a dad right now, you can only imagine that his wife would be Roxanne. And I believe that they probably would have a big family by now, and maybe Max would probably teach some of the kids how to rock out like Caroline. That's the way I've seen the extended family or Goofy family, and I'm pretty sure Goofy would be proud too. Doesn't that sound good to you?
It sounds great to me. But how many kids do you think Max and Roxanne had?
Yeah, took the word right on. Six.
We got 7 per year, 6 years, so they connected pretty good. She was, right, she was like, I don't care if you lied to me. And I was, yeah. Right on, man. I love it. That sounds great.
Thanks, sir.
You bet.
Hello,
Hello.
my name's Wesley.
What's up, Wesley?
So one trend that I'm personally not fond of in a lot of modern cartoons and TV is how fathers are typically depicted as incompetent and a lot of times outright abusive or negligent as a joke. And it's really refreshing to see Goofy and Max have an actually healthy relationship with each other. I was just wondering if you've noticed that trend as well, and you seem to notice that, in my opinion, it appears to be getting a little bit better with things like the Belchers on Bob's Burgers, Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo on Bluey, stuff like that, or it seems to not be improving much in Europe.
Good question. No, I mean, Goofy's just trying as hard as he can to be a good father. I'm glad they kind of billboard that in the movie, and that I think is what fans really react to. And every con I ever go to, someone comes up and tells me how, oh, I couldn't talk to my dad, and that movie helped our relationship. And that's, maybe it was one of the first movies that did that, kind of put it in that perspective, but I'm glad that they did. All the other ones.
I see what you're saying, because I remember reading articles about like The Simpsons and like, Homer's this lovable dad. He's verbally and physically abusive. Like for our comic amusement, Mr. Rogers would be so disappointed. I haven't been on, it's not been on my radar, but I'm glad that you brought that up. That is getting better with the dads that being represented in animation today. I think that is important. And I hope that maybe they took a lesson from Goofy. It was very difficult for me as an actor to be so mean to Goofy, for having Max be so mean to Goofy, as I was directed by Kevin Lima appropriately for the story. I would have been grounded if I talked to my parents like that. And also just I was 18 when I recorded, but I always recognized that Goofy's just he's earnest. His authentic self is amazing. I can see how embarrassed it would be to a teenager, but Goofy was appropriately upset and firm when he had to be, and I think he was a great dad. Yeah. But thanks for pointing that out.
Thank you.
You bet. What's going on?
I'm Alex. I'm staying 50 feet away from Jason per the restraining order.
Yes. On me. Yes.
You're out of guilt, by the way.
Yeah, no.
One of the great things about a Goofy movie is that it is evergreen. And depending on how you watch it, as a child, you empathize with Max and oh my God, the embarrassment of a father. And as you get older, you sit there and say, Max, shut the hell up. As popular as Eye to Eye is, Nobody Else But You is the best song.
So here we take our lead. How does it feel for you? Knowing that 31 years later, new generations are seeing this and experiencing it for the first time.
It's unlike any movie that I can think of. What movie 30 years old or older becomes #1 on Disney Plus? That just blows me away. And that's all because of fan love and the fans that love this character and this movie.
It's great, man. I mean, like the fact that it's so emotional in front of us right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the emotion. It's. I mean,
It's kind of odd that, I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. It's an amazing feeling. And it's funny, the way that people always come up and say, you know, when I was a kid, I sided with Max. Now I'm a dad, I side with Goofy. So it's kind of, okay, it's an interesting viewpoint.
that like, yeah, and a lot of you have watched with your kids and now you show it to your kids and your grandkids and they will do the same. It's surreal that this movie I think will continue beyond us
Yeah.
in a way. And it's humbling and it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions on the road?
Big hug, big hug.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
I get yourself up as well.
Yeah.
To nobody else but you. So thank you for asking that question. Thank you for being here. I consider your movie to be in my Mount Rushmore of movies for sure.
Yeah.
One thing here, question. How did Goofy graduate college so quickly? What do you think both of their degrees would have been after they graduated?
What was Goofy studying?
Let's see, probably nuclear physics. Lord, let's see, show off like this.
I love nuclear physics. I think it'll be something beyond anyone would expect.
Yeah.
World religion.
Reactor in the garage.
Yes. Max, I don't know, maybe communications or something music related, probably, some basic,
Some extreme sports in there as well.
probably, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So this is Max's mom, really. And so there's like a million fan theories out there about what happened to the future was and everything. So what's your favorite theory?
What's your favorite theory about who Max's mom is, Billy?
Well, my theory, and it's just my theory, I always think that maybe it was Jessica Rabbit before Russia. He said, maybe there's some kind of thing going on that we don't know about. We don't know it.
Love it.
He's not stupid.
I've always thought that as well. That's, thank you.
So we all know that there was so many people in both, movies and shows, but I wanted to take this conversation on video games. Phil, you've been King Mark since the beginning, and Jason, probably the first time you've heard this whole weekend, but Jurassic Park from 2011, one of my favorite movies. So I was wondering if you could just talk about differences in, voice acting games versus like movies and shows.
Oh, gosh. Well, Kingdom Hearts, is the longest running series, I guess, that we've ever done. 2002 was the first one.
Yep.
Fourth one, whenever they get around to that, but it was unusual because the first game was produced in Japan before it came here, and we were replacing dialogue. So it had already been animated. That's not the case normally. We normally do the scripts first, audio first, and then they animate it. So we aren't watching anything. And anymore, we aren't even in the studio. I'm not in the studio with Mickey or anything when we do Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or anything. It's just a solo thing. And I only get to see my friends when I come to a con like this. And, but Kingdom Hearts, I remember the first time we did that, I was alone. And the script was like this thick. And you'd go to, okay, page takes line one, and I'm hearing in my headphones the Japanese actors, like the Japanese Goofy, who learned how to do the voice by listening to me, takes of me, which is weird, and it sounds strange in other languages. And forgive me, I don't speak Japanese, but it's like, oh, go I go, come on, squirrel, let's go, you know, and I have to do it the same amount of time on the screen that the Japanese actor did. And he spoke faster as Goofy than I do. So I have to kind of hurry along. Come on, man, let's go, Zora's going. And it was so fun. Well, I think it was the first one that they had Pluto in it a little bit. And one of the guys came over from Japan and he didn't speak any English. And he gave me a direction. And it was like, oh, Oishimaka, oh, woof, woof, woof. That was great. And it still is that to this day, is when I see the game has already been produced. And it takes a long time to do that, probably well over a year of recording off and on in 4-hour blocks to get the dialogue down. And people always ask me, what do you think of this scene, that scene? I hear it in Japanese. I have no idea what's going on. I just know what that little 5-second bit of Goofy saying, and I can't understand anything else. And it's very bizarre. So I know less about it than any typical fan.
Have you done other video games besides?
Oh, yeah.
Not as Goofy. I mean, like,
Not as goofy, and but most video games. And recently, I've done some of the Yakuza. There's Makoto Data, and that's also 2-picture and replacing dialogue that was in Japanese. Now I'm much better at it now because I've had all this experience with Kingdom Hearts. And but it's a different style of acting, and it's a little bit more technically tough because you're trying to get the lip flaps as close as possible to what's going on the screen so that they have to do as little reanimation as possible. Whereas in a movie or something, a television series, it's just a script, a microphone, and in a room, and with a director either on on the screen or in the studio right there, just giving directions and stuff.
Okay.
Totally different style.
yeah, it's, did you want to comment on that?
I golf very well.
Okay. It's a different piece for sure. I echo everything you said, and I've done video games that you have to, you can match the timing. And I've done the ones where you just see the dialogue, and it is, you're always by yourself. You're not really doing scenes. You're the ones that I have, it's just speaking fragments. I did the whole Oblivion expansion last year, and I won't lie, it's not the favorite. It's just so isolating. It's not to sound arrogant, but like it's not challenging for me at all. And it's you're by yourself, speaking fragments, working with an industry that you just look at it historically, don't really appreciate actors. So I kind of pick and choose the situations I put myself in, and also there's a lot of screaming that happens, a lot of combat that happens. So you're basically wrecked at the end of a session. So yeah, it's a completely different beast.
Thank you.
You bet.
Question, great question. By the way, he wanted the rest of the impression. He did.
Best impression.
Oh, let's go, that's fun. Very good, fun too. I'm so confused. That is surreal. Thank you. One, thank you guys. Thank you both for being here. Seeing us here in Huntsville. It's amazing to have you guys here for all of our childhoods and our generations of movies. My question to both of you would be, if you could drop Goofy and Max and like any other movie franchise as those main characters, what movies would y'all choose?
I got the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I think you could, well, me on Marvel, maybe they could put the Goofy and Max as superheroes, because they were super goofy, which is a version of Goofy.
Yep.
Put him hanging around with Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, the same pajamas.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You know, Goofy get caught up in the web if he did himself.
The movie Iron Man.
Or I've seen the cartoons where the comic books where they put Goofy as the Hulk. That'd be a fun thing to do. Goofy smash.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Great question. I just want to say thank you so much again for coming. And thank you for making goofy dads okay to be goofy. And also as a parent, that you always had good intentions, like the trip, and that you made it work and it worked out. And so thank you for that. My question is, if Goofy and Max were to go on a trip today with their grandkids, and with his grandkids, where do you think y'all would go?
Where would
Interesting.
you go with your grandkids?
Yeah.
You-
To the zoo, see my relatives.
I would take them to Lester Sponson Park and be like,
Yeah,
little Max, I was so upset that my dad took me here, but after thinking about it, this place was way cool. And you guys agree? I thought it was Sponson. I want that beautiful park. I love it. Lester Sponson Park.
Lovely.
Lester.
Yeah.
Next question. What about Marsden? How are you? So my question is Disney Parks related. Just a while back, we found out that the Rock and Roller Coaster was going to get rethemed, and a big online theory was that it was going to get rethemed as the Goofy movie, getting them to the Power Line concert. Was there any conversation with you guys about that? And is that a possibility in the future? I know they chose the Muppets, but sure, it might be wrong. Chance of that happening? If not, was there any chance of you guys showing up more at the parks?
well, they already have a Goofy's Flight School and Florida, they have one that's based on that, a roller coaster. So maybe they figured, oh, that's already done. So they had to find something for Muppets and whatever, but no, they rarely ever ask us anything. It's like they call us up, we need you there Tuesday at 2 p.m. And that's about as far as we get it, figuring out what they're gonna do.
For one April Fool's one year, I was at Disney World and I took a picture of the side of the Rock and Roller Coaster and I superposed a picture of Powerline on it. They're like, hey guys, guess what they're gonna do? A lot of the works they bought it. I do friends, I worked in Imagineering and I was like, are you guys really considering this? And they're like, oh no. So sadly, no, if that's something that you'd like to see again, like we got it, talk about it, yeah. I thought it would be a great idea, like, cause it's like the song is so great, but also I love comics, man. I happy that they're gonna have a little bit of life still in Disney World after last. Love the 3D.
Rod, so.
Yeah, man.
That's-
Dig it.
Great question.
My question is for Jason.
Hello.
I started watching on Monsters.
Oh my gosh.
It's been so fun seeing you on all the.
Hold on, deep cut.
Yeah.
My favorite TV series Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So many.
that's so, you're very kind, thank you. It's hard to think, it's like thinking your favorite child. They're all different experiences, like, I love working step by step. They, yeah, step by step. I came in on like season 5 and they treated me like I was there since day 1. Full House was great. And so Dave and Andrea here, and my stint on that show is so brief, but just wonderful. I've been so fortunate. If I could do another show again, it would be Erie, Indiana. Right? We haven't heard about it. It's great. It's like little Twilight Zone episodes. It was way ahead of its time, and I had such a blast doing that with Alma Katz, who started Hocus Pocus. He was the star of Erie, Indiana, and that I would do again in a heartbeat.
Love it.
Thank you.
Great question. This is another one for Jason. It's just an idea that popped in the dome. And,
Let's hear it.
you were a child voice actor.
Yeah.
It just
That's not a, like, does puberty affect like the trajectory of like the jobs you take at that time or like, you like? I mean, because like you have the craft and like, do you work around it? Do you try to like suppress it as best you can or?
As a matter of fact, the very first animation I booked was Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. Wait, Cabin, the boy of Squire, was spent the Gummy Bears. I was the second actor because the first kid went to puberty. Lost his. Yes. Luckily for me, I'm always like Max. You know, I purposely add a little crack here for Max. He's like 14. But my wife will tell you, like, it's, if I get really excited, you know, it's like, hey, Max, like, so fortunately that has worked for me. I'm always able to get into that pocket. I'm 51 now and I can still kind of get away with it. So yes, I am able to push into it, lead into it or suppress it if needed, but yes, it can affect you. Yes.
Thank you.
You bet. Have you gone through puberty, sir? And you know, it's a very personal question. I've been a better. Yes, but as soon as you don't want to get the voice out. There you go. What's on?
What was that idea of making a band that's called Powerline?
What is the idea of making a band called Powerline? What's your name?
Lakey,
What, one more time?
Lakey,
Lakey?
Baking?
All right, good. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Was it like seeing Powerline, coming up with the idea of Powerline?
you know, it's interesting. We don't normally work with the other actors in these movies. So Kevin Campbell, who did Powerline, I never got to meet him when we made the movie. I didn't until the 20th anniversary of a Goofy movie in Anaheim, where they had a panel of the entire cast. And a lot of firsts happened on that. I got to sing on stage with Jason as on the open road, I think they sang. And Kevin Campbell was there. He sang Eye to Eye on stage in front of a packed house.
It's good. You can.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah. And that was amazing. And this is how hard a road a Goofy movie has had. There was about 10 different channels at that particular D23 event. And they had a listing of the popular ones to go see. Ours wasn't even on the list. But afterwards, it became #1 with audience love and appreciation. And I'm amazed at that. And there were people out in the hall waiting. Our room wasn't near big enough for that. And it was like, when I came on stage, I looked around, it's like the Beatles were coming out or something like that. You know, it's like, oh my gosh. And it was incredible. And, you know, it was such a delight to sing live on stage with you.
Yeah, that was really cool. Lakey, I think I know how to answer your question. So our director, Kevin Leva, of the movie, he, you know, they want to come up with like a fantastic music rock star that Max and teenagers would like at the time. So he took 3 current music artists that I don't know if you know these names: Prince, Bobby Brown, and Michael Jackson, and sort of combined the 3 of them, and that's how he came up with Powerline.
What's the hell?
Yeah. I think Powerline came from Milwaukee. I don't know. What's going on, man? I think we got a 5-minute warning. We'll try to race through these.
How's it going? It's
So good.
for what you do. Thanks for being here. My question is also parks related, or Disney World related.
Love it.
And I appreciate your jacket, Bill.
Thank you. Thanks.
Other than that, yeah, what parks do either of you have at the Disney World Orlando at the moment? Are your voices on any of the attractions?
Yeah, well, you know, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and well, let's see, in there's a Fantasyland, which one is it?
Yes. You go to the hotels, you get a wake-up call. It's him. Wait.
That happened to my wife. That happened to my wife on the Disney cruise ship. And she answered it. And okay, it was, you know, a wake up call. And I said, who was that? It was you.
You're in the parades,
It's very bizarre to hear your voice in all of those different venues. I'm glad that people like it. That's basically.
some nice parades here and there, and at Disney World, around Halloween time, they have the villain show. And if you gather ahead of time, you can hear familiar voice saying, about a few minutes, the brothers and sisters will reach the stage. Yes, it's a gateway version. And then if you go to, I think it's still there, if you go visit Tinkerbell in Disneyland, walking through this tunnel, and you can hear these, the Neverland fairies, and I'm one of them as well.
That's awesome. And real quick, rapid fire, kind of like a yes or no, or a little bit of small question for them, so they can answer these fast. So make sure everybody get the answers, get their questions asked, and then answer for them, that's okay.
Going to keep it quick. I just wanted to thank you both for being here and everything that you do. I listen to your episodes, both your episodes, of Jim Cummings podcast.
Yeah.
Once a month. It's been a great inspiration for me. I used to be an engineer. I dropped everything and became a film and media arts major. And it changed my life. So I just like to thank you guys for everything you do and coming out here.
You got it.
I love you.
Hello, lovely.
What year did you watch it for the first time? Because most folks have to see it after the whole show has been finished.
When's the first, what year did you first see a movie on Watch? At the
Well,
premiere, right?
At the premiere, definitely. And
1995.
yeah, that was so cool because it was one of the first times that I saw, my character on a big screen with an audience and hearing their reaction. That was the big thrill. I got to see it in Walt Disney's screening room before it was actually done all the way. And it was still something, it was still pencil test at the time, some of it. And Michael Eisner was sitting like right here, Jeffrey Katzenberg right there, and I'm sweating. I hope that people like this movie. And my son got to go with it. He was about 7 at the time, 6 or 7. And he was crying when the lights came on. I said, "What's the matter, buddy? Didn't you like the movie?" And he said, "Yeah, but when Goofy fell over the waterfall, I thought that was you." And I said, "I know this movie has heart."
Thank you. Any questions?
What's up, Philip?
Hey, it's nice to see you two again for the second time. Really, it is. Now, Jason, can you describe your friendship with Phil Lamar?
Love Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar, worked with them on The Weekenders and Static Shock. I was a fan of his before we worked together. We worked off each other very, very well, and I love him tremendously. My brother from another mother.
Glad you made it this year.
Me too. Me too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, okay, so my question is with Jason. My favorite song on this movie is Stand Out. And they only ever used the second verse and the third verse in the actual movie. Did you actually ever hear the completed song?
Yeah, I think they had on the soundtrack, and I definitely got the soundtrack, and I wore it out. I loved it. But yes, I have. Thank you.
Awesome.
What were y'all's reactions when y'all found out there was going to be a second movie?
When we found out it was a second Goofy movie, what did you do?
Well, I
Yay, I
can hang my win. Interesting, we worked on a Goofy movie, probably off and on for about 1.5 to 2 years. A Goofy movie,
by the way.
Yeah, we recorded the whole thing in about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, but it's solo. Like, I didn't work with him at all. I didn't work with any other actors. It's extremely Goofy movie. And yeah, it was a couple of days. The short is we were very excited.
Yeah. Oh, they're always excited when they're gonna make a sequel.
Yeah. You bet.
Awesome.
I think we're gonna do this.
Yeah, money's forty.
You did it. See, you moved over here. All right, this better be good.
I just wanted to say, growing up, I mean, I'm a late '80s kid, so, so watching that it was just me and mom growing up. And so I remember being so, I didn't have the typical siding with Max and, you know, I didn't have that at home. And so I was so jealous that Max had this dad that really gave a crap. And that was not my experience. So Bill, you were really just such a father figure. It's so weird to think about it in terms of, we're talking about goofy. But it meant more than I could ever really put into words. Couldn't, that was if I was at home sick, it was play, rewind, play, rewind, play. And I just, like I said, it was, yeah, I always wanted to be there of you, and just so thankful.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks all for that.
Right.
That's right.
Let's hear it.
Okay, 3-minute baby plus Biggie Doll and Goofy taking care of Goofy's grandchildren.
I love it. Give me 8 pages by one day.
That's awesome.
What's going on,
Like, would you describe your relationship, would you describe your personality with Goofy and Max as different from their personality or the same as their personality?
Are you like me? A lot of, my wife thinks so. And there's a little Goofy in all of us, really. I mean, I blame Goofy for any dumb things that I do. So, there's a part of me in there, but also different. That's the whole point of acting, is taking on the characteristics of the character that you want to portray. And so there must be a lot of Goofy in me, because that's, I guess, why I got the job. Yeah.
I definitely there's a lot of Max in me. I wasn't as cool as Max growing up. I would never have the bravery to do what he did in school. But I share Max's passion for redheads. Great music taste and adventure. I was definitely more respectful to my parents and the adults in my vicinity, for sure. But I also had a great friend group. As Max, yeah, I think it's definitely brought a little bit of me in him for sure. Hold on, hold on. Who do you identify with most, Max or Goofy? All right, good answer.
Listen, basically, I want to take up this table with these individuals. I know you guys are here for the rest of the day, right?
Whole day.
They have, you guys have photo ops today?
Oh, right after this.
Okay, so make sure you go get your photo ops, and please, please, please give them a huge, huge hand clap.
Thank you.